2024, 3:30 p.m. Okay. I would first like to get a motion and a second for approval of the minutes for June 24th, 2024 and July 22nd, 2024. Terry and Dan, are there any corrections or updates? Okay, I see there's none. All those in favor, would you vote with an aye? Aye. And those opposed, nay? There are none. Okay. And let us move on to the informational items from our department, and starting with our county clerk's office, Ms. Rachel Parker.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have nothing new to add to the report that was in the packet that was sent out.
Okay.
So unless there's any questions.
I didn't see anything that stood out. Are there any questions or comments for Ms. Rachel? And I do have one. I would like a little bit more information, or did you talk a little bit about your automation?
Are you referring to looking up?
Yes, like when a client may come in looking for information, how does your department handle that?
Well, on our website, anyone, general public, it's public record, where you can basically look up just about anyone's property information. You can go in under our, when you go into the website, you can go into our department and then go in under land records.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a section there where you can enter either the property address or the person's name. And then you'll be able to view a mortgage if it's out there, releases if they're out there, any documents that are recorded on that particular property would be listed there.
Okay, that's related to that particular property.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody can look up anybody else's property. Is that,
Yes.
as long as they have the ID? Okay,
As long as they either know the address or the name, they
okay,
can look it up.
good to know.
And if they're just looking for like your tax records, I think that's more popular, people wanting to see their tax records, you can also do that.
Okay,
By looking either under the treasurer's tab or under our tab.
okay,
And again, just knowing the address to put in and knowing the name. And it
Good.
will show you like a copy of your tax record, or your tax bill.
Mhm.
So you'll know how it was split up between all the districts and that, where all the money is going. It shows the details of that too.
good
So
to know.
if people are interested in looking at that, they can do that as well. But all of it is on the website.
Yeah. So again, that is, you can either walk in or check it through online.
We do have some people that come in. We have computers set up where they can come in and look themselves, or we can provide assistance for them to look up information on the various properties.
Sometimes do they want to print things off or?
And they can.
Okay, great, great. Okay. And do you have a, did you know?
Did you know when we established our, I want to say website, but it's not, oh my gosh, our app. We also partnered with the election commission, because in most counties, elections are run out of the county clerk's office, but since we have our own election commission, it's not. But I got with Elizabeth, and she gave us the okay to put some of their information on our app so that people can go on our app and see information about the election commission, which is really going to be helpful with the elections coming up when they need details about it, and they don't have to bug her office or our office. They can just go right in there and look. And as we're trying to stay up to date, with electronics.
So
everybody's on their phone.
therefore, they're making a connection to your department through, with the election commission.
Right, because we
Yeah.
get a lot of calls during election time, people
Yeah.
asking us, questions about elections, and we don't do it. And again, it's just because it's done that way in some other counties.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got that on there to help Elizabeth out as well as our office out to kind of redirect some of those calls.
Great,
It really
great.
helps out. I think.
Yeah, good. Good to know. Any other questions, comments to Ms. Parker? Thank you. Okay. Let's hear from our County Election Commission, Miss Elizabeth Gannon.
Hello.
Hello.
I just want to up to date on the election. The State Board of Elections just certified the what will be on the ballot to us at the state and federal level. So we will start building the ballot this week. Vote by mail and early voting begin on September 26th. That will be here before we know it.
Yeah.
And we are also in the for the February 2025 primary, that election has begun as well. So people are currently circulating petitions for the 2025 election cycle. Those filing dates for the primary election are October 21st through the 28th. And so we are running two simultaneously.
Oh, wow, good.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So that's all I have for my update, unless you have some questions for me.
Okay. One thing, I have a question, but then I would like to see if you have some information or you want to talk about that election commission lease. But one question, I have, is in regards to cybersecurity, your testing. Now, you might have made mention one other time in regards to the voting machines. Mm-hmm. And my question is, are they ever connected to internet in regards to security purposes?
Sure. So the voting equipment itself is never connected to the internet. With respect to the software that we use internally to build the ballot, print ballots, scan ballots, tabulate, that is never connected to the internet. And then also the voting equipment that is used in the field. So the ADA compliant piece of equipment and the scanner that you put your ballot in that tabulates, there is no way to connect those to the internet.
Okay, great, good. Yeah. Okay. And then do you have something to say, or you want to talk a little bit about that election commission lease agreement?
It's still up in the air and hopefully moving forward, but I don't have an update for you at this time.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. And what about your did you know?
Of course, I have a did you know for you.
Course.
So this is a great example to go over some voter registration maintenance. So did you know that the Peoria County Election Commission processes between 2,000 to 4,000 voter registrations on a monthly basis? So many people feel or believe that voter registration is really stagnant, right? You do your registration and then it just kind of, it sits there, but that is not the case. So we have new registrations coming in, so people that are registering for the first time in Peoria County, whether that be they're moving to our county or they're hitting voting age and registering to vote. We have updates to existing registrations, meaning so you're moving from one address within Peoria County to another address within the county. And then we have cancellations, so you're no longer residing within the county, so we're removing you from the voter rolls, or you have passed away and we're taking you from the voter rolls. So, and we are getting these registrations in a lot of different ways, but the biggest one is through IVRS. IVRS stands for the Illinois Voter Registration System. This is a statewide database that allows every single election jurisdictions throughout Illinois to communicate. So every registered voter is given a state ID number, which allows us to track you as you move through the state. So let's say you lived in Peoria County and you moved to Tazewell County. We would be notified of that and we would be able to cancel your registration here through the IVRS database. This system also allows us to verify identification. So when you register to vote, you have to provide two forms of ID, one that shows your current address, and you also have to provide either the last four of your social security number or your Illinois state driver's license or ID number. We are able to verify those two forms of ID through IVRS. It's linked to the Secretary of State's office or the Social Security Administration. So we are able to verify identification before registering you to vote. Also from IVRS, on a monthly basis, we are receiving death records at the state level from the Public Health Department. We're also getting these from the Peoria County Health Department. So we're getting them from two places to ensure that we are keeping up to date with those for our voter rolls and removing those people that have passed away. So there's a lot that we are able to do through IVRS to keep our voter rolls up to date.
Great.
We are also able to take national change of address information, and this is received twice each calendar year. So if you update your address with the post office, we receive that information and we are able to update your registration information from that as well. So this just shows that This is not stagnant. This is something that is occurring on a daily basis, and we are doing what we can to keep our voter rolls up to date and accurate.
Great.
Any questions for me on that? Yes.
I have a question, actually two. Number one, in light of the fact that the opt-in for vote by mail just went out, question one, what is the initial response? And question two, can you anticipate what percentage of votes will be, say, by the November election, will be vote by mail?
Sure, that's a great question. So before that mailing went out, we had right around 16,000 registered voters in Peoria County signed up under the permanent vote by mail. So we already had, really, we were the largest in the state for people that were signed up for this permanent vote by mail program. And I only see that continuing to grow. So right out the bat, we're going to have at least 18,000 vote by mails go out on September 26th, that first day. I anticipate we'll get another 2,000 or so in from the mailing that we just sent. And if I'm looking at how turnout was in March, we were really 30-30-30. So 30% vote by mail, 30% early, 30% election day. And as that people continue to opt into the program, I only continue seeing that number grow. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating for November, is really 30-30-30 across the board. But as we continue, I see that trend increasing.
Thank you.
Good question. Anyone else? So just to reiterate, that state ID number stays with that person, like you said, even up to death, just like perhaps similar to a social security number?
In the state of Illinois, it does, yes.
Okay.
So there's nothing at the federal level,
Okay.
right? But if you're within Illinois, that
Yes.
state ID will stay with you.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, I do have another question. In regards to registering, now, in other words, individuals can assist others in registering. They cannot tell them, more or less, the registration is more to fill out information, providing you with information so that then it can be mailed in, just like what Terry was referencing.
Are you talking about
I'm
registering
talking
to
about
vote,
the actual
or-
registration to vote, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody can assist in that process, that's fine. There's a lot of different ways that you can register to vote. You can register in person at the county clerk's office. You can register at the Secretary of State's office if you have business there. You can walk into any library in Peoria County and register to vote. You can register to vote online. So there are instances where people can assist you in that process.
Okay. Now, when you all make reference then to the deputy registrar, what is the difference with that?
So a deputy registrar is somebody who is trained by the election authority to take registrations so if you live in Peoria County or a registered voter in Peoria County, you can be a deputy registrar for our office, and then you can register anybody to vote in Illinois.
And that's different, of course, versus assisting someone to vote, to register to vote.
That person would be registering them to vote, so they
Yes.
would be doing the entire process for them.
Yes, okay. Okay, any other questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let us hear from our supervisor of assessments. Look at him, he's ready to have his seat. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Today, we just finished up our 2024 assessments, our initial assessments. So they were just put on the website within the last hour.
Yeah.
So they're out there, and you'll see publications in the newspapers starting on Wednesday in Limestone, and then most of the other ones will be in the Journal Star, except for we've got Elmwood will be in the Weekly Post, and the Glassford Gazette will have Timber, and Limestone Independent News will have Limestone. All other townships will be published in Peoria Journal Star. There was a little over 3,100 notices that were sent this year, and those will be changes in assessment that are other than equalization factor. And just a reminder that equalization factor is just comparing our assessed values to sale prices for the previous 3 years, and then what percentage we are above or below 33.33 is the equalization factor we get. So most of the townships, the lowest was a 1.02, it looks like, in Timber Township, and the highest was 1.11 or 11% in West Peoria Township. Most of them are around that 8 or 9% increase in assessed value. So that's what we've got so far. I guess a did you know is that, kind of taking off what Rachel said, is all our information is also on the website. You can find every home on the website, what their square footage, year built, etc. is. You can even find other sales in your area, other sales of similar homes in your area. So all of that information is on the website. Makes it very easy if individuals want to file a complaint. And obviously, to mention, our complaint deadline will be September 30th. That'll be the last day to file any type of board review complaints for next year's tax bill. So once that date passes, it's usually too late to file any complaints based on your assessed value.
Yes.
So
Now, that information you just mentioned, the complaint date, that's up to that individual to go online or go somewhere and find out what that exact date is?
yeah, it'll be online, it'll be in the newspaper, and it will show up on their assessment notice also.
yes.
So it's in all 3 places. We put that, and a lot of times people that know about it usually call and ask, hey,
Yes.
when's that complaint deadline? So it'll be, we put it out there as many places as we can. So.
Good, thank you. Are there any questions, comments? Well, thank you so much.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, let us hear from our treasurer, Miss Nicole Berkey.
Hello.
Hello.
So far we have done 3 distributions, and that has equated to a little over $201.8 million to the taxing districts. Our next due date is September 4th, which is next week. Our next distribution is September 20th. The trustee auction is going on right now. It's a sealed bid auction, and the end date of that is August 30th, so anyone who wants to participate in the trustee auction has to submit their sealed bid by 5 o'clock that day. And then we sent out an email earlier that one of our long-term employees, Julie Leach, she's got 22 years in. She's retiring on Thursday, so we are having treats for her on Wednesday from 2 to 4. So anyone who wants to stop by and wish her well and grab a cupcake or a brownie is welcome to do so. And then for my Did You Know, I'm going to piggyback on everybody else. This year we decided that all our settlement sheets, we've already had the final settlement sheets on our website for all the taxing district and auditors out there that are performing the audits for the taxing districts. This year we also decided to do each distribution separately instead of mailing them. So before we'd have to mail them, we'd have to prepare envelopes and then the mailing. So now we're just putting them out there and they can grab them at their will. And if they happen to lose one that they printed, they can go out there and get it at any time.
Anytime.
So,
Good to know.
yeah, we had a couple phone calls the first distribution and maybe one the second, and since then we haven't had any. So everybody all the taxing districts have accepted that and are willing to do that.
And the response is pretty good?
Yes, very good.
Okay.
I had no complaints about it, just
Wonderful.
people didn't know where to go initially.
Yes.
We send out a newsletter at the beginning of the tax season to give the distribution schedule. The instructions of where they were located was on there. Sometimes you send it to the supervisor and then it's the treasurer that's calling, or you send it to the treasurer and it's the supervisor that's calling for it. So,
Knowing where to send
but
it.
yeah, it's been received very well.
Good, wonderful. Any questions, comments for Ms. Nicole? Okay, did you have was that your Did You
That was
Know?
my Did You Know?
Thank you very much. Okay. And I'd like to now hear from our Veterans Assistance Commissioner.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So I had sent this out. I'll start off with the Goodwill Save the Date.
Yes.
The 16th annual stand down is Saturday, October 19th of this year from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Goodwill. The VAC will be teaching disability classes like we do every year. They requested us again. So usually 2 or 3 of us. They said it is the most attended class at Goodwill. So the veterans will come in, the homeless veterans will come in, and then we will do a presentation on disability benefits and whatever questions they have. So we'll be there again on a Saturday. Congressman Sorensen came and toured our office last week. I'm on his advisory committee, and I'm also on LaHood's advisory committee as well for veterans. In 2000, and let's see, where did that? So we had 34. If you watched Hero of the Day in the Peoria Chiefs game where veterans were honored, I'm the one that actually selects those. It was probably the most difficult year getting veterans to accept it, but we had, I think I probably sent over 500 requests just to fill 34 billets. So 34 veterans got honored at the Chiefs game this year. The last games are coming up September 5th through September 8th, where they go out on the field. I even had a father and son, Vietnam veteran and Iraq veteran, went on the same day, and they got honored the same day. So it was nice. It's really nice to see. So far, so did you know, I guess I'll go with 13 million. We've already surpassed 13 million in back pay for this year for veterans. We ended at 12.7 last year, which was a record. So that's lump sum payments to veterans, and then we're at 68 million total for total payments to veterans. And then we're at 2,892 veterans that have walked in the office. My did you know is, so I went back to 2014, I guess I'm a little different. I didn't do the website, but in 2014, 1,187 veterans came in our office. That's averages 99 a month, which seemed busy at the time, by the way, when it was just 2 of us and some work studies. In 2022, we averaged 218 veterans. Now, this is physical walk-in veterans. Last year, we had 333 a month, and right now we're at 426 averaging veterans walk in.
Great, that's
And we
good.
do a lot more work by digital signature than we do with walk-ins. So usually my rule is this: if it's the first time coming to our office, we want you to come in person because we want you to understand
Of course.
how the process happens and explain everything in person. It's a little bit much to do over the phone.
Right. Do you see where that new location makes a difference?
Oh,
or
yes.
Yeah.
We have a lot. Well, I had explained before that there is a VA examination right next door to chiropractor. So veterans are going to their VA exams right next door to us. So they'll just stop in and say hi, or a few of them we've already helped. So, but they stop in all the time, and then they just see what services we have. So it's good to see. And there's a lot more traffic on Knoxville than there is on
Yes, of
Drees
course.
Lane. So. Yeah, that's all I have. Any questions for me?
Oh, wow. Anyone else? No. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Let's move on to a resolution. I need a motion and a second for approval for our monthly delinquent tax resolution for the month of August 2024. Danny Kelch and Terry Rulin. Thank you. Are there any questions, comments? And I believe we have 4 items that we're looking to vote on. Okay. So let's take a vote. All those in favor, vote with an aye. Those opposed, there are none. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. Any public comments? I think I got everything covered. Nope. Okay, miscellaneous. Okay, well, what time is it? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.